the top 10% of men get the same amount of matches as the average woman.
Right.
Like that's how
There's just a supply and demand problem. That's what it comes down
Yes.
to.
I also feel like men just swipe positive on everything.
So men swipe
Before
right.
I was married on Tinder, it was just everything.
I never got to use a dating
played the
app.
numbers game.
Like I got married in, we started dating in 2011. Like they didn't really exist too much yet.
I was around.
It's kind of
during
taboo even back then. I was like, you met online, you met on Match. That's so weird.
Yeah. Men on general, about 60% of the time they'll swipe right. Women about 30%. But here's the main issue.
So they got double
smart
volume.
guys. Yeah.
So here's the
I
main.
just do numbers.
The main issue is that the average woman doesn't think she's average. And the reason why she doesn't think she's average is because she's getting 100 matches.
She's getting a ton of attention.
Correct. Yeah. The main difficulty is this: when you have a girl who is just there's nothing wrong with being average. You're just an average looking woman, but you can now compete for the highest status men because of social media. And so what you'll have is women who are, slightly above average or average, and they'll slide into some guy's DMs offering sex, basically. And the guy's like, okay, I'll accept it. Some center fielder, power forward, movie star, personal injury attorney, whoever. And she'll send the message, and the guy will accept it. And she'll be like, because I slept with Lamar Odom, or because I slept with Tristan Thompson, or because I slept with, whoever, then that means that's the level that I'm now looking for, and I'm stuck on my highest setting. And so now they go back and they meet a guy.
My highest setting.
The average guy in the United States is 5'9" and makes $59,000, $61,000 a year. Whenever I have women on my show, I have about 10 women to come on my show every other week. And whenever I have them, it's like, ladies, who here is interested in a guy who's 5'9" and makes $59,000 a year? And we ask them, like, what does the average guy in the United States make? And I'm serious. There's women in there that are like, he makes $400,000 a year. They think the average guy in the United States makes $400,000 a year.
The average guy I talk to.
First episode we did, we asked a lot of the girls have caught on and they've looked up the stats. But the first episode we did, we asked the ladies, like, how tall do you think the average guy in the United States is? She said 6'2". They think they're 6'2" and make $400,000 a year. And it's just madness. And then when you explain to them, 17% of men in this country make $100,000 a year. They're like, what? And then we show them, like, so you want a guy who's not married, who's not obese.
Where are you finding these girls at?
Yeah, like are these just
so here's the funny part, because this is the criticism we get all the time. No. Several girls that we have on the show have master's degrees. Several, sure. Like, we try to make absolutely sure.
But they're all from social media. You like find them on social media.
So mothers, master's degrees, and married. Those are the three ones that we look for. And then everyone else, we might find.
Wait, they're mothers? What'd you say? Masters?
Master's degree and married. Those are the three ones that I look for the most.
Mary?
Yeah, and married.
Oh, they are married.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and when we ask them, we get the same answers. It just
they all think the same because social media's trained them to
correct. That's exactly right. Now, I'm not saying like now, if you were to ask them now, because whatever podcast Fresh and Fit and us have been doing these shows for 4 years, we got to the point now where women already know. It's like, okay, I get it now. Like, for a man who's for a man who's over 6 feet tall and makes $100,000 a year, that's 2.2% of men in the United States. At first, when they heard that, they were stunned. They were blown away. And it wasn't like, we're talking, these were highly educated women who believed this. The idea that it's just like dumb girls from the club or it's strippers versus women who are really highly into, it's not.
Well, that's what I would have. These were just promiscuous.
The answers are ubiquitous. Like, it doesn't matter who we ask, we get the same
Christian women.
I mean, quite the same thing. Like, why would they think any different? Like, they don't look up demographic data, and
they're more humble.
I don't know that Christian women are more humble. So here's another issue.
True Christian women.
So here's another issue that we've seen happen a lot, which is, I had Andrew Wilson on the show, and we talked about this phenomenon that's happening where a lot of women will have a past in sex work or something like that, and then they go back to the church once they turn. Usually, it's always when they turn 29 or 30, they go back to the church, and then they become born again virgins, even though they used to do pornography or something like that. And so now I'm taking a man who maybe waited a long time, maybe he's 25, 30, and he's waited to become a virgin, and now I'm putting him in a singles group with a woman who used to be a sex worker. Like, it doesn't match. Her technology is 100 times more advanced than his. It's Christopher Columbus coming against the Native Americans. He has no chance. And we see this all the time. And it's the church often that's doing this instead of recognizing, because that's the thing. The church brings you I'm a Christian too. The church brings you absolution. The church gives you forgiveness. Well, that's fine. But a lot of these guys were like, well, the church said I need to remain chase until I'm married. And a lot of these women were like, I'm going to go have my fun. And now I want to get serious and date with intent. So I'm going to go back to the church because the church is going to find me a good man. And then we end up in an even worse situation with the divorce rate being as high as it is. Like for the first time divorce, I believe it's in the high 40 percentile.
Are you implying that women are more promiscuous than men?
No, of course not. No, I mean, not in general. No, men are always going to be more promiscuous because we have more testosterone. What I'm saying is, though, often what happens is there are women who are promiscuous, and when they want to leave their life of promiscuity and they want to have a family and settle down, one of the avenues that they'll choose is to go to the church. It's not the church's fault, but they'll go to the church. The church does. John 3:16 is very clear on this. If they ask for absolution and forgiveness, they shall receive forgiveness.
Yeah.
But they go back into this thing, but they act as if then, again, if a guy steals his whole life and he goes to the church and he asks for forgiveness from God, I can still forgive him, but I'm still not going to do business with him. Does that make sense? I can still have discernment without judgment.
Right.
And so what's happened is now you see this very frequently with these OnlyFans creators who are like multi-millionaires that they made all this money from doing OF, or they made this money from doing pornography. They start talking about how Nala Bay, I think that's her name, like Nala Ray, I forgot what her name is. She's now going back. She goes to the church, and that's how she found her husband.
But these girls have got to be outliers. Like I get that they exist, but like let's talk about like the common girl, right?
Yeah.
Because we're talking about the average man,
Yeah.
and then the average girl. And
So
I get your point.
the common woman in this world, in this country, is overweight, number one. And she thinks that she's about 3 points higher than she is as far as her physical attractiveness. That's the common woman. We keep thinking
That's your like perspective. That's not like
no, that's statistically
from
that's
where.
But what
peer-reviewed statistical
what is
facts.
the average man though? He
Where
probably
are these
thinks
statistics
similar.
from?
Evolutionary. It's a great question. They're from evolutionary psychology studies from the University of Oxford, Harvard. They're also from the University of Texas at Austin, University of New Mexico, Oklahoma State, and Texas Tech. That's where this stuff is coming from. This is the part that really offends a lot of people is when I back up everything I'm saying with data, because again, you guys are married. No offense, but you don't know what it's like on the fucking streets right now. It is hard as shit when you have women who are addicted to their phone, and you have right now, there are if you count all the sex workers in this country and all the women who are on OnlyFans, that is 2.1 million women between the ages of 20 and 40. That is something like 4 or 5% of every woman that is out there. If we're talking about women who are attractive, that number goes up to 8 or 9%. You think 9% of women who are doing OF or sex work is not going to have downstream ramifications on the entire country?
Yeah, but my point is like there's still 90% that are
Yeah.
they're
No.
they're not
The 90% that you're talking to are still seeing that 8 or 9% going to Dubai or going to Ibiza. They're going to these different places, and it has downstream ramifications. Just like if you live
I get that. They set the culture.
Correct.
Tone. Like I understand that.
And I think that's a subculture. How many women do you know went to Dubai?
Not many.
But again,
Never-
you guys,
But
guys,
his
you
point
guys,
is
you
like-
guys are married.
Just because even when I wasn't married, I didn't know all.
No, again, this changed. There wasn't OnlyFans more than 6 years ago. Have you guys been married more than 6 years?
Yep.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So OnlyFans has changed
I
significantly.
think that's the world these guys live in. No offense to
Yeah.
them. But like him, Andrew Tate,
No,
all
it's
these
not-
guys. Hold on. All these guys are like, all these OF models, they're this and that and da da da.
I don't have a problem with OF models.
When in the regular world, like at the Christian church, there's good Christian women that are not only fans.
Of course, they're not all like that. But my point is,
You said
that-
most.
no, I never said that. I never said
You
most
said
women at the
something,
church.
you said something like that. But the point is, like, the reality that I see, that he sees, that most Christian normal Americans see is not this OnlyFans Dubai epidemic.
But I would argue we also live in a bubble. So if we're saying that he lives in a bubble and he sees that, and then we live in this Christian bubble where we're not in the clubs and in,
Yeah.
whatever, interviewing 10 girls who've got these perspectives, like, sure, like I see a different world, but like I just want the objective data of what the world.
Beautiful.
The objective data is 92% are not.
Right. No, it's not that. But the objective data is also the age of first marriage keeps getting pushed back and back every year. The objective data is the birth rate is declining. The objective rate data is of first marriage is like 48% divorce. Second marriage, the divorce rate is in the 62%. Third marriage, it's 73%.
Right.
The objective data is 80% of divorces. 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women. That's the point I'm trying to make. But it's not. The problem is
The cause, the real thing we're trying to figure out is the cause, right?
Yeah. Well, so the problem is when I say these statistical facts, and by the way, it's not the world I live in.
Mm-hmm.
This is peer-reviewed data from different universities
But
in
you're
the
saying
subject
that,
of
but we're-
evolutionary psychology.
Like send it to us so we could put
100%. Let's do. Why don't we pull it up right now? We can pull up all the different effects that happen where women tend to, like, for instance, on dating apps, women find 80% of men to be below average attractiveness. How does that work mathematically? Do you not believe that that's a statistic?
I don't see how that statistic has to do with like these OnlyFans girls and all this like.
No, but I'm talking about men at the bottom who are ignored.
Okay. What?
Well,
I don't get it. What's the point?
his question is, do you think that it's true that 80% of men that women look at, they find unattractive?
Yes. I think most.
So we're all in agreement on
that. Yeah. I think it works the other way too.
No,
Like most women that, I guess men have lower standards. I get.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're
all in agreement.
You're slowly getting there.
Point for you.
You're slowly getting there. Yeah.
But that's just common sense. Like men are just more open to whatever.
No, it's the
Men will settle.
Men will settle.
The concept of size, but well, no, women claim that they settle more than men.
They don't.
But correct.
We can objectively say that.
But why do they say that? Because they think they're 3 points higher than they are. The average
So they
man,
think they're settling.
correct.
Reality.
The
it's
average, correct.
Yeah.
So assortative mating works where a woman who is a 5. And by the way, when I say these numbers, I don't mean physical attractiveness. I mean that if we took like their dating profile and stratified 10 million men and women, whatever the median one, we'll call them a 5. I'm not trying to objectify people by their physical attractiveness.
Are you talking though, even with their points, that includes looks, personality, career? Like, what are we talking about here?
So all of the things that would make them desirable to the opposite sex in a sexual marketplace, those are all the things.
Looks and personality.
Looks and personality could be the thing. However, you will say that like it's a little bit weighted more towards looks when it comes to women and a little bit weighted more towards status when it comes to men, right? And those things in the sexual market value, the things that make a man who would be a median man in the sexual market value and a median woman in the sexual market value, she has no interest in him. And that's the issue. She's interested in someone who's 2 or 3, 4 points higher than there. And the term for this is hypergamy. Originally, the term comes from India, where they have a caste system, and women who are really attractive can marry out of their caste into a higher caste. But the word has been colloquialized to mean whenever women want to marry someone who's bigger, stronger, faster, taller, makes more money than them, etc., is a higher sexual market value, then that's when we talk about the concept of hypergamy. If hypergamy exists, then there must be a group of men at the bottom who are superfluous.